friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. So today I'm going to finally do the next installment of my color theory series, and today we're talking about red. I'm sorry that it's been a little while since I have done the next one of this series. I just got caught up doing other videos, and then there was that weird stage where I still had that weird tealish blue color, and I just really I didn't want to wear a bunch of red with that weird teal color. But my hair's changed now, so I figured I would go ahead and do the next installment of this series. So we're going to talk about some red. Let's pull up the color wheel, shall we? We've talked about this a few times. Again, if you want the most in-depth talk about the color wheel and things like that, I recommend seeing the first video, which is the yellow one. I will have my playlist of my color theory series videos down below in case you've missed any and want to see them. But this is the color wheel right here. Obviously red is at the top. The three primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. You cannot create those colors by mixing any colors together. They just are. Those are the foundation of all the other colors, basically. And to create all the other colors, you mix them together. So red and blue make purple, red and yellow make orange, blue and yellow make green, so on and so forth. Complementary colors are the color that is opposite of the color on the color wheel. So in this sense, the opposite of red is green. We've already done green in this series, so if you remember that or have already seen it, whatever, you would know that if you mix red and green together, it muds out, it creates more of a neutral, it's not a true color, whereas if you mix red with any of the other colors, it'll create more of a true color. So in this sense, if you mix red and blue, again it makes purple, red and yellow, again it makes orange, and then by mixing red and purple you make a red violet, and by mixing red and orange you make a red orange. It's all good things, unless you mix it with green, then it becomes more of a neutral muddy color. Again, I will say this in every video because some people took me the wrong way in my very first one, but I am not trying to say you cannot wear red and green together. You can do whatever you want. I'm simply just saying if you directly blend red and green on top of each other, it will not usually create the result that you were hoping for. It usually just muds out and creates a neutral. My favorite way to wear complementary colors so that you don't have to worry about that is by doing a cut crease where, say in this case, I blended red all through my crease, cut the crease and then popped a green on the lid, or did one across the upper lid and crease and then popped the other color on the lower lash line, things like that where they're not directly touching and needing to blend, and then you can still wear them together. If you are really wanting to have a good blend from red to green, you can do so, but by doing so, I'd recommend if you want it to be more on the warm toned route, have it going from red to orangey yellowy to green, and then if you wanted it to be on more of the cool tone route, you would go from red to more of a purpley bluish to green. In that sense. Again, you really don't want to try to blend red and green right on top of each other unless you are wanting more of that muddy look. Then go for it. I feel like reds can be a little tricky to work with just because, and I talk about this a little bit in the tutorial portion, but I feel like most of the world views people that wear a ton of red and pink eyeshadow as being sick or like an infection or things like that, and I just don't get it because that's ridiculous. An easy way to avoid that is not putting it in your lower lash line. I feel like that's when people really start to get that vibe, which again, I don't agree with. I will happily put red and pink all in my lower lash line. I don't care. But if you're one of those people that is worried about that, I would just mostly recommend don't put it in your lower lash line. But really, I don't have too much of a problem working with reds. There's so many different tones of reds. You can easily have some really pretty, dark, vampy red looks, and you can also have some really bright, more electric red looks. I do feel like reds are more for the bold and dramatic. It's not as easy to wear red as a muted color. If you wanted it to be a little more muted, I would say just pop a little bit kind of in the outer corner of the eye with some neutrals, but for the most part, it's gonna be more of a bold look. That's just kind of how it is. Red's a bold color. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my arm, I'm gonna take a blending brush, and I'm going to blend red on top of all the colors on the color wheel so you can see what happens when they blend together. Let's go ahead and get the old complementary color out of the way. This is Midori from Sugar Pill. And for all of these comparisons, I'm just taking Red Rose from the Blossom Passion palette from Pinky Rose. So I'm dipping my brush in that color, and I'm going to start blending right on top of that green. And you'll just kind of see it start to muddy out. It doesn't really create a good in-between color. It just, I don't know, it just neutrals out. I don't know how else to put it, but you'll be able to see what it does. See, it's more neutral, bruise-like. And one of you guys commented, and it cracked me up on, I think, my purple video, that they liked the grungy color that it made. And trust me, I'm all about grungy colors, but this is just to kind of show how it doesn't make an actual vibrant color. That's all it is. Not hating or shading towards anyone that does any kind of color option that they want. This color theory thing was requested by you guys, so I'm just trying to help out, you know? Let's go ahead and stick with the warm side of things. I'm gonna go ahead and take, I think this is Buttercup Cake from Sugar Pill, and we're gonna take some of that red and blend right on top of the yellow, and it'll create more of a orange. Super, super cute. See? And now I'm gonna go ahead and pumpkin from the Ace Beauté Flare palette. I'm just jumping in all sorts of palettes today. And when you blend the red on top of the orange, it just creates a really perfect middle ground red-orange color. These blend super, super easy together because they are right next to each other on the color wheel. You will most likely never have issues blending red and orange together. Perfect in between. Now we're gonna go ahead and take some blue. I'm just gonna take this darker blue because I feel like the lighter blue is gonna get overpowered by the red. This is Cave Dweller from Menagerie Cosmetics. Pop this on top and this creates more of a purpley tone. See, a little more purpley. And now actually taking a purple, this is, I think, Poison Plum, something like that from Sugar Pill. Again, this is another one you really won't have trouble blending reds and purples together because they're right next to each other on the color wheel. They just create a really good, nice in-between color. Just like that. And then just kind of touching on this, pinks are basically just lighter reds, and pinks can also sway more warm tone or cool toned. We will get into that. I will do a separate video on pink, even though that's not a direct color on the main face of the color wheel. I will do a pink video after orange is over, but just to kind of show you. But I mean, this for instance, it's very pinkish. If you were just to lighten this up a lot, it would be a really pretty cool tone pink. But this is what happens when you mix red with the other colors on the color wheel. Last thing we're gonna chat about is cool versus warm toned reds. As I kind of said before, the side of the color wheel that is more red, yellow, orange, that is the warm side, and then the purple, blue, green, that is the cool side. Red inherently in itself is a warm tone color, but considering it's right next to warm and a cool tone color on the color wheel, it can sway either way. So this is kind of the idea. If you look here, this is what the warm tone side looks like. It's gonna be more rusty, orangey, warm. You know? So just kind of those more orangey red, rusty red, more vibrant reds in that sense. Those are gonna be more warm. And then skipping over to the cool side, they're gonna be a little deeper, a little moodier, more violet based, even more pinky-ish. That's gonna be more of the cool tone side. Personally, I don't have a preference. I like both. I really like those really pretty rusty pumpkin-y reds, and I also love those really deep berry reds. I think reds are really fun to work with, and I don't have a favorite. However, I do have favorites in my collection, so let's just go through and talk about my favorite reds really quick. I'm not gonna do swatches of them just because I don't think it's necessary. From the Ace Beauté Flare palette, I love Saffron. It is a very nice, hot, neon, warm toned red, and it's so good. Sugar Pill's Love Plus is a favorite amongst many. It is one of the best true toned reds ever. It's so pigmented. I feel like this was the red that started other brands actually coming out with good reds, because before that there weren't very many. From the Dragon Child palette from Menagerie Cosmetics, Flame Tongue is a really, really good warm toned red, and then Mother Dragon's a really good cool toned red. It's more deep, more just yummy, moody. I don't know how to describe things. From the Ace Beauté Blossom Passion palette, this is a really good pinky red palette. Red Rose is my favorite true red, I'm pretty sure. It's so pretty. Lust is a really good, just deepened red violet-y kind of red. And then Seduction in the pan, it looks like a black, but it actually is just a really, really, really blackened red. It's so cool. Also from Ace Beauté, the Classical Paradise palette has some really good reds as well. Earth is a really good dark, dark red. Clay is a good, more true toned red, and then Soil is also a really good deep red, but not quite as deep as Earth. From Pinky Rose in the Obsessed palette, Pigment is also another good hot neon red. It's so good. And then from the 80s Baby palette, Amour is such a really pretty, I don't know, this one's more cool tone, borderline pinkish red. It's so cute. From Strobe Cosmetics, the Single World Eater is everything. That's what's on my lid right now. It's so pretty. Love that shadow. From Black Moon Cosmetics, the Orb of Light palette, I love this shade Blood right here. It's such a good red. I've used it so many times just for the red and the yellow in that palette. The Give Me Glow Christmas Morning palette, which I wish more of you could have gotten your hands on because it's so pretty. Cozy Fire is a beautiful true matte red. And Stocking Stuffers is such a good metallic red. This is the only one I'm swatching just because it's so pretty. Ugh, I love this color. I love this palette. From Juvia's Place, the Festival palette, Izatha is a really good, almost a true toned but a little more cool toned red. And then Ophala is a nice, again, hot neon orangey based red. From Lime Crime, the Venus palette, Muse is a really good deepened red, and Venus is a really good metallic-y, satiny, shimmery kind of red. It's a unique kind of formula. Again, from Ace Beauté, I did not have these in order at all, but Poppy is a really good red. We got this in BoxyCharm, so you guys might actually have this palette. From Jeffree Star's Androgyny, I love Fetish. It's such a good red. It's so pretty. It's a little bit more of a metallic kind of finish, and I love it. One of the ultimate red-based palettes, Jeffree Star's Blood Sugar. Pretty much this whole bottom row. Obviously these are leaning more towards true purple, but pretty much Extraction, that's a good red violet. This one's more of a true red, red violety red, red red, orangey red. Like, you have so many different variations of red in this palette. It's so good. And then finally, the James Charles palettes. This red right here is awesome. I used this so much when I was doing my Christmas looks, you guys already know. And it's pretty much one of the main uses I have for this palette. It's a good palette, but I basically use it mostly for that red. So yeah, those are my favorite reds. Let me know what reds are your favorite in your collection, or any of the ones I talked about, some of your favorites. Let me know. And now let's just get into the tutorial portion where I show you how to create this vampire glam look. So we're just gonna do a really blown out red smoky eye. I'm really excited about it. I'm taking Earth first from the Ace Beauté Classical Paradise palette. And I just have this on a teeny tiny little Luxie blending brush. And I'm just gonna keep this really tight in my crease, all the way from inner to outer corner. And I'm making sure not to blow this shade up too high, because I am gonna blend other shades above it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take Muse from the Lime Crime Venus palette, and I'm just taking that on a slightly bigger blending brush. And I'm basically just going to go right on top of where this edge is. Again, I don't want this too high because it can get to be very fast, which I'm not opposed to, but I know most of us don't want crazy blown out red eye look. I'm also taking this underneath the lower lash line. I'm now taking that first Earth shade with a definer brush just to pop that really close against my lower lashes. I know this looks crazy. Just stick with me, it'll be okay. I'm now gonna dip into the Ace Beauté Blossom Passion palette, and I'm gonna take Red Rose right here, which is one of my all-time favorite reds. I'm just taking that on a slightly bigger blending brush, and I only dipped in a very tiny bit because, again, we don't want it to go overkill. Although I'm sure some of you already think it's very overkill. But it's gonna get blended out more, don't worry. I'm just kind of laying the foundation down. I mean, we could just call it vampire glam, you know? I'm now gonna dip into Gardenia from the Blossom Passion palette, which obviously is not a red, but there isn't really any light reds without it being a pink. So we're gonna take just this neutral color just to soften these edges just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, I don't want it to totally disappear because, like I said, I do want a dramatic blown out red smoky eye. I just want these outside edges blended a little softer. And plus, once I have my lashes on and stuff and my lipstick and stuff like that, it's not gonna seem as crazy. And you could tame this down even more on your own by keeping the red more strict to your actual lid and lower crease and then blending them out with neutrals. But I just wanted to bring on the red. So now for the showstopper, I have from Strobe Cosmetics the Single In World Eater. I'm just taking that on a shadow brush. I'm not even gonna wet it because you really don't need to with these shadows. And this is gonna go across my whole lid. I love this shadow so much. And then for my inner corner, I'm going to take Hey, which is again obviously not red, but it has those more warm reddish tones to it. And this is also from the Classical Paradise palette, and we're popping this in the inner corner. I just feel like the reflect in this goes really well with the red eye look. And really quick, I wanted to address the fact that there are some people that just associate pink and red eyeshadow looks with sickness, and I just think that's ridiculous. If you can't look at someone with red or pink eyeshadow and not think of them as sick, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you have a little bit of an issue because makeup's just makeup, it's just a color. And I absolutely adore this. So I'm gonna do the other eye, pop on some lashes, and put something on my lips, and we'll finish this video up. That's it. This is the final look. I hope you like it. I have my Bold Face Makeup Thrill Seeker lashes, and on my lips is Jeffree Star's Mannequin liquid lipstick. I just wanted a really good nude to go with this really bold eye look. And I really like how it came out. If I didn't cover something, you're always welcome to ask questions down below, but I tried to cover as much as possible, get all the information out there. Don't be afraid of reds, they're a lot of fun. I'm really impressed with the amount of red eyeshadows I had to share with you, because before I went into this video I thought I wouldn't have that many, but brands have really stepped their red game up, and I'm happy that red eyeshadows are becoming a little more normalized, because I think they're a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this color theory video, please give it a thumbs up. I will be doing orange next. I will not make promises on when that'll be. I have a couple things in the works of what I want to have up first, so it'll probably be at least 2 weeks before the orange one is up, but that will be next. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram, it's beautbean, follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe here before you leave. I post every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let me know what videos you want to see on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Okay, bye.